After a long, arduous battle between Griffin cavalry, soldiers from a town north of Blue Falls known as Wiven, bursting through the gates, assailing the civilians of the town, making off with various bits of loot and even some kidnappings. Blue Falls now lies in smoke. As the party begins to recover, along with the twin shields, they start to lick their wounds as well as count the many hurt and injured that are strewn about Blue Falls. Repairs begin almost seemingly immediately as Varsha made her way toward the smoke row to help absorb some of the flame for herself, so then she could then wick the embers of this ongoing, smoldering neighborhood. A griffin was captured during the fight in the clouds above Blue Falls, as it was landed in the middle of the streets with Ty, as Ty roped the griffin nearby, and they all made their way toward the Upflow Inn, where they had fought a bounty hunter and a tracker known as the Foxfather. An Aasimar of some nefarious origin was stopped and made immobile from Smith, as the former blacksmith made sure that he would not be able to escape. Twin Shields have met up with our party as they discuss what has happened. Dosane, the cleric of the Title Father, tries hard to keep some sort of leadership and some sort of positive attitude as the cleric begins to heal the best he can the most of the people around him, and trying to lead this push of first aid towards this wounded settlement. Last week, or the week prior, but during the battle, Varsha and Jet fought this peacocking noble within the city streets of Blue Falls. There was an entourage of guards trying to guard this flamboyant knight, as they had this fitted armor that looks like it's never been and never seen the likes of battle. But Varsha and Jet put that to the test, as they were both able to rid the streets of whoever this may be. The guards of this person, known as Trellinus, were also felled in the streets. But that was the battle. And this is now a time of recovery for the party and the town. Up on top of the hillside, there is an estate that is known to look over all of the plains toward the west. Marshlands in the distance, a swamp, even Aftoki on the northern western part you can see from this estate. We've been here once before during a interrogation of the party, and also Uru, as one of the Twin Shields was assassinated, known as Selray. But we all meet here once again. There is a circle of kelp placed around this tiled floor. It doesn't look like this building has seen a lot of battle. Not many of the forces reached up here, but in contrast to the well-being of the building, the civilians and you all, the audience of this ritual, has dwindled. A kelp circle of seaweed and bone is placed around on this tile, and a prisoner is hoisted and brought in. The prisoner is that of the Foxfather. He's wheeled in on some sort of wheelbarrow. Their legs still not fully healed. There is still some tender pain that happens when this prisoner and this captive is moved around somewhat forcefully. There are still some people who try to take care of this prisoner as they start to set this person in the center of this circle. An old dusted skull is then taken from a looks like an old sconce of boughs and plants on the wall, as the skull is taken over toward the circle by this dwarven cleric known as Dosane. Dosane has a patch of two contrasting shields on the breast of his robes. His hair long, dark, tied up in this messy bun. Long beard as well that seems to be dreaded with salt water. As he holds up the skull, places it, and begins a ritual that we've seen before. Some sort of circle of truth begins.
At least it's not us again.
I don't like it. Even on the outside.
Just saying, I think a bit exhausted. You would only assume this likely because of probably the day that he has had, trying to tend most of his magics and most of what he could and what he's been trained to do to help the people nearby. As he mumbles some sort of tidal speech, some sort of primordial, if those who speak, if you don't, it sounds like a sloshing of water. As the skull then is placed toward the center of this ring, facing him in the crowd. And then he sort of looks toward you, Smith, and sort of bows and gives you the floor.
We've already questioned you a little bit here, but I'm sure you know more than you've let on thus far.
Fine.
Is there anything you want to offer up before I start breaking other body parts?
Give me an intimidation with advantage. As this, the Aasimar did have their wings out, but it looks like they have retracted at least somehow into themselves, as Aasimar do. The binds and the rope that was used for these wings are since gone, but their arms and things are still bound. I think their shoulders are probably bound as well, just in case they were to unravel their wings. It would likely
use a flash of genius.
Sure, it would likely be logical that it would be the shoulders and elbows would be bound in tight as well. Okay, so you can use a flash of genius.
So that'll be a 16.
16, let me grab the rolls here. Okay. So, as you say this, was there anything, in your question, was there anything for him to offer up before you start breaking bones?
Yeah. I actually said break anything else.
Yeah, anything else, excuse me. Wealth? Honesty, knowledge, I've got answers. I don't...
Let's talk about some answers.
Yeah, okay. As there is a bit of embarrassment, I think, that sort of hangs in the energy of this character.
Have any water?
Dosane
Get our guests some water.
looks, grabs an empty mug from nearby, and almost like he's squeezing a fruit out of the air, but there is nothing in his hand. Water starts to drip from his palm and start to then fill. It almost seems like, or maybe it's a bit of kelp. It almost seems like a waterfall dripping off of a nearby spring down like a mountainside as it dribbles down off of the kelp or the vegetation, drips slowly at first, and then a small trickle, and then a stream, and then he lets go, and the glass is full, and he sort of reluctantly brings it over and places it in front of you.
Yeah. You thirsty? You can have a sip. First.
I will look away because I know what's about to happen.
I think I was already looking away.
Okay.
So you can have a sip, but first, I need to know, are there any other forces that you know about waiting in the wings? Any reinforcements?
Not that I know of. No, this was the only plan I knew of. I had separate plans, separate orders than the rest of Wyvern. I was supposed to look for these plans, these scriptures about... I mentioned some sort of wheel. I've mentioned this before. The wheel, the intricacies of those sails, those windmills. But I don't...
We saw griffins attacking the city.
Mm-hmm.
We saw you.
Yeah.
We saw forces coming up the switchback. And there was a noble that was running around. We took care of them as well. You know them?
Oh. They would owe me my pay. They hired me.
Mm-hmm.
That's Trellinus Ram's crown. He's dead? Doesn't matter. He's the mayor of Wyvern, elected. As he starts to raise his voice and let the audience know.
Yeah. Well, you all elected to make a bad choice following them here. Following the sworn. What was it for, money?
And for me?
For you? For them?
Money. Sellsword by trade. Tracker. Taken several bounties before in Trader's Reach and Wyvern. Made a couple of friends too, a part of the Sworn, who would be able to meet up and take those I track for them outside of the spine. Yeah. Money. It's an honest job.
I need you to tell me if there were any others that made their way into Blue Falls, others that we don't know about. I'm gonna start to pour out the rest of the water all over him.
No. Not that I know of. No. I haven't heard anything of anybody
start
else or...
charge running through my gauntlets.
As the gauntlets start to crackle to life. I'm telling you what I know. Please, I'm telling you what I know. I don't know. There hasn't been any other. I assume that.
I am going to put my hands on his hands.
His wet hands.
Yeah.
Okay. And you did wet the sponge. Okay. Go ahead and are you casting anything here?
Yeah, we'll do a shocking grasp to start things off.
Let's start things off. I love that. Okay. Has 13 lightning damage. Courses through. I think a rigidness begins across Foxfather's body. There is also a scream of pain because I think as you are all either watching or listening, or those who are observing this scene, there is a lot of pain both in the fact that there is this foreign feeling of being electrocuted or shocked, not really necessarily electrocuted, and also the tensing of the body is then going to also tense his ankle, which is then going to give him a spike of this broken leg pain once more. So there is a large scream that happens and fills the room, and then it is gone. As it is gone, he seems to slump lifeless.
Wake him up.
Hossein takes a bit of the kelp that's nearby, opens his lifeless mouth and places it on his tongue, closes his jaw, then brushes his hand across his eyes, and his eyes flutter awake, really exhausted. And then he steps out of the circle. Hossein does. Hossein, the dwarven cleric, steps out of the circle and then looks at you again.
That was a close one. Good thing we've got somebody here to revive you when you pass on.
Fuck. Hey.
You know, this kind of thing is how they make a lot of the enchanted weapons and armor that the Sworn use. Just like the armor that I'm wearing. A lot of people had to go through this to enchant this armor. I wonder if there's any weapons or armor that they need here in Blue Falls to protect against, well, people like you or the Sworn.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you insisting?
I think you know more than you're letting on.
He tries to find focus in your eyes as you're trying to, with your eyes as well, trying to grab his attention. You are able to. His eyes do find focus at some point. What else do you want to know? I'm telling you what I can. I'm telling you the truth.
You were hired to find these twin shields.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about them?
The twin shields. I know that they're a retired adventuring party who had taken a settlement from giants. I know that they have been able to harness the Spellwind to continue what it is that makes them their money, so they can continue to grow and prosper. And I know that that has put a price on their head for those who want that very same technology. Like the Godking. And Wyvern.
Going to walk over again.
Mm-hmm.
Just gonna rest my hand on his shoulder.
You see, and I think those who are watching, and you feel his shoulder and neck tense up for a moment as you do. It's not necessarily, it was more of a reflex than it was a conscious choice as his body tenses. I'm telling you all I know. I'm trying to. I don't know what else.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure. Yes.
Is he
I don't
not in the
have-
circle of truth? Can't we tell if he's lying?
He is in a circle of truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, him saying, I'm telling you everything is also just reassuring. I think there are times where you would probably look over, or if it's not you, Smith, other people would look over, and this is how it was done before. They would look over toward Dosane, and Dosane would sort of read what's happening and sort of give the nod, much like a person who is reading a lie detector test, right? As he's sort of doing the same thing. That is happening here,
Circle.
whether or not Smith, you are watching, but Dosane does nod along as if he is saying the truth.
The
Okay.
circle of truth can be
Resistant.
sort of not just resisted, but also it can be avoided depending on wording of the
Right.
answers.
Right.
So
Okay.
there's a lot of reassurance.
Yeah, Ty did that.
I'm
He got
trying
out
to
of
do.
his.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. That's fine. I just wanted to know if Smith was losing his shit and just torturing someone for giggles. I was not sure what was happening.
Well, we're not quite sure.
Okay, we're not sure yet.
We're not quite sure.
Still open for debate.
Yeah, that's
Got it.
open for
So
debate.
I look over at Dosane and I pat his shoulder. All right. What's your name?
I'm Rokel.
Rocal.
Known as the Fox Father.
Yeah. We appreciate your cooperation.
It's our
We'll
closest
get that
eyes in defeat.
ankle. We'll get that ankle and your wings sorted out. But what happens to you from here on out, that's up to the people of Blue Falls. Not up to me. And I start to walk away. And I will, I'll also pick up the rest of the water. And I'll put it in his hand.
He grabs the horn and begins to shake and put it to his mouth as he is it's either weakness, shaking, or it is dread. It's hard to tell.
I walk away back to the rest of the group.
Do we know what's going to happen to him?
That's up to the people of Blue Falls. Has nothing to do with us. They were the ones that were attacked. They get to make the choice. Regardless, I don't think he knows anymore. Circle of truths can be avoided, sidestepped, but he was answering fairly directly.
All right.
I mean, it's pretty obvious what they're after. Expansion. All that
Power.
magic.
I'm still worried that there are other forces in town that we don't know about.
What do you want to do? Stick around?
We should stick around and also scout. I think that's our best course of action. We need to find out if there's any armies waiting in the wings, if that was just a force to test their defenses, or if that was the entirety of their attack. It seems a little weak, if that was. With the resources at the Sworn's disposal, I imagine they could have put up a much better attack.
Well, they ain't after Selray. They're after the windmills, whatever they're called.
Yes.
Maybe that's what they want. The tech.
Well, they can use it for any number of various reasons.
How far back did they pull away? And when we were in the sky, they were dropping fire bombs on things. Was that aimed at something in particular, or was it just to cause mayhem? I wonder.
Can I make
That's a good point.
Can I make some sort of roll to determine the tactics behind that?
Sure.
Jim?
Yeah. Make me a probably survival,
Just an int
insight, or survival, insight, or history. It's really up to you which one you want to use. Either of those.
Yeah, I guess I'll roll history. That would make the most sense for me. That'd be an 11.
Sure. With an 11.
Also, before you say anything here, I just want to be clear.
Yes.
We leveled up.
Yes.
Are we getting all of our
your level
resources for
benefits?
the level up? Or are we waiting for a long rest?
Probably wait for a long rest. Yeah.
Okay.
But if a couple of things sneak through the cracks, whatever. But yeah. But try to wait for a long rest if you can. Because like I said, you probably already leveled up. So anyway, you with an 11, it doesn't seem like, as you said, the...
Actually, I have one more special bullshit that I forgot about.
Okay.
Sorry, I have new wizard thing. Where was it? This is
I'm so sorry. You multi-classing with a wizard?
arcane deflection. I can oh, never mind. Sorry.
Okay.
I can't use it.
It sounds awesome, but okay. So with an 11, what you said was true. They, Evervale and Rolthane, the God King, do have more resources and forces that they would use if they would need something, if they were to take something and liberate somewhere. It is odd that they haven't used all of those resources, or enough of those resources to take Blue Falls, unless that was not their plan. As you sort of mull over the last couple of hours of this fight, And since you all teleported in from Flaris Academy, since then, with the information that and the that your mind would put together in your perspective, Smith, you would probably decipher the following. Within was probably 90% of the forces. 10% of them, if we wanted to call it that, were the griffins above, right? There wasn't much sworn on the ground. There was a lot of Wyvern. Your history of knowing probably anything past what Evervale controls, so Wyvern and anything past Trader's Reach, would probably indicate that there's a good chance that the Sworn or Evervale doesn't want to take Blue Falls so far away from Trader's Reach and what is already like their influence. But if they're working somehow with Wyvern, then there must have been some sort of deal, which happens and has happened historically with Evervale, for settlements to work with Evervale to help take over other places, of course, if they get the benefit, or if Evervale gets something to benefit. So, I think also with a little bit of your history, you know that Wyvern has always sort of kissed the boot of the Godking. They are outside of the Crusade area, but they've always sort of idolized the Empire.
No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
But they've always sort of idolized the how they crusade and have been taking and expanding. So there's a good chance that maybe this was for Wyvern and not necessarily for the Sworn. The Sworn may have had something to gain, and that could have been Selray's book.
Okay. I'm relaying my thoughts to everyone
As
I'm running through them. Yeah.
Uh-huh. In the background, there is still a circle of truth. Dosane is asking questions to and preparing more water for Rokel. And also, if those of you who are still if you're sort of mulling this stuff over, he also mentions Rokel during the questioning with Dosane, that he was supposed to steer clear of the Twin Shields during his tracking. He was supposed to, if he was to run into them, he was supposed to try to find a way out, not necessarily engage or fight with Twin Shields, but Rokel's focus was on plans about spell sales. He also mentions something that I think would... he also mentions that Dosane asks, if now that Trellinus Ramscrown is dead and defeated, what will happen with him? And Raquel, the Foxfather, says, uncertain. The one acting as the leader now is the ambassador to Evervale. And that being said, I would like Smith and Varsha to make a history with advantage.
Natural 20.
18.
You both know this, but trying to have somehow make it. How can I make a crit sound cool? Anyway,
How can I make history sound cool?
how can I make history sound cool?
Every history professor ever.
Hey, kids. Today we're going to crit history. Anyway, you know that the ambassador to Evervale is the Loving Queen. Thus, the acting leader right now in Wyvern is the Queen.
Sorry, what? Oh, God. I take back what I said about taking back kill them all. Kill them all. Kill them all. Harsha back on board. Kill everybody. Sorry.
So Dosane sort of looks around a bit nervous. Very well. And so, if that's the case, then I don't know if I have anything else. You are to be under our captive till we speak with Wyvern. Uru? And Uru sort of limps, trying to cover up some sort of wound, or at least probably some sort of injury from the battle. Limps over. Yes? Take me away. Uru then pushes, I think kicks the kelp circle, sort of like break the seal around of these leaves, and then makes his way through. And as he does, he sort of leans and cranks this wheelbarrow thing back on its two wheels. And then some of the other scouts help Uru as Uru then lift him down the stairs, much like some interesting stretcher. And they wheel out the main doors as just energy sort of hangs quiet. And Dosane then, after a little bit, makes his way over to you all. So, that's interesting. Not sure if you heard that, but the Queen is acting as Wyvern's leader.
Yeah.
And now if Brem's crown's dead, then that means it's going
We don't know what kind of defenses Wyvern has, if that's where the Sworn are currently stationed as some sort of bulwark. But, do you have any scouts keeping any sort of eye on the position of the troops that have retreated?
We could find a way, of course. It's hard.
Ty did manage to capture one of those griffins. Perhaps we can use that to our advantage.
Oh, good. Perfect.
Don't know where it is. I gave it to someone out on the street. Thing was trying to peck and bite me with that enormous mouth, so you'd have to go and find it again. It's around here somewhere.
Not like it's very missable, so I'm imagining that someone is taking care of it or it's flown off.
I don't recall seeing anything fly, but then again, those things are quite fast.
All right. As far as our plans, we'll find out what we're going to do next after we find out what's going on with their troops. Anybody have anything else to add?
What about those people here in the town? Who is injured? Who is hurt? Are they being looked after?
Still figuring that out, making if you can, and if you would be so kind, Jet, we can use your help. We could, of course, help pay you as well for your work.
I don't know if pay is altogether necessary, but I can come and help, sure. I have supplies. If you have your own supplies, then all the better.
Hey, well, then let's move then. Is everybody real good here? I must probably make my way with Jet to help.
Understood.
Yeah, of course.
You will. Here, Jet, let's go.
Okay. All right. I'll be back soon.
As Dosane and Jet sort of start to discuss reagents and what they have and start to make their way out into the atrium and then down the switchbacks and these steep stone stairs down into the main town. As you are sort of left in this empty hall, there is a couple other people nearby as they're sort of watching you. Some people do approach you. This larger man, he's darker skin, and he is balding, and approaches and says, "Thank you so much. I saw what you were doing out down there." He looks towards you, Varsha, and I would be dead if it wasn't for you. What you've done with Ram's Crown and the likes. So you sort of remind and remember that this person was there in the scene as you were fighting off Ram's Crown. The peacocking mayor is Ram's Crown, by the way.
Right. Okay.
As they just are very thankful. I don't know if I don't have much I could help you with, my son. And his son comes over. He's got this longer hair as well. He's holding what looks to be a spear in one hand that he made, and it does have blood on it. As he's we thank you so much. Put that away. And the kid proudly, sort of tucks it behind his back and thank you, miss.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you're all right. And I'm just struggling to stand. I'm doing that thing where it's I've got my exhaustion and I'm just, I kind of just want to sit down, but also I'm trying to push through it and be polite.
Yeah. Is there anything I can get for you, miss?
No. I'm all right. I'm just glad you're okay.
You make me a deception.
Hurt you. With that spell. Okay,
right.
Deception. Yeah.
Well, besides the radiant sickness, we're all right.
21.
Yeah. Okay. I rolled an 18. Yeah. He believes you as you sort of I'm
okay.
fine. And he goes,
Yeah.
All right. If you need anything, we're not in Smoke Row. Our house has been taken out, but some of our stuff was able to move towards the upflow. Might get you a drink or a meal or something. Any one of you, as he sort of looks at all of you. Please.
I'm okay. Just worry about you and yours for now. I'm sure there are a lot of people that need help.
All right. Thank you. Again.
You're welcome.
Entree.
All right.
His son Trey make their way out. The son, I think, is still looking at you, his spear dragging a little bit as just sort of bit of idolization as they make their way out. But you're just sort of left as people do have that same similar approach, that awkward, probably darker, and much more of a contrast, more of a feeling of contrast, coming out of a play, and you are on, let's say it's after the play and you're a bunch of actors and you're coming out into the green room or out into the lobby and everybody's thanking you for, you did such a great job, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's sort of happening, but it's definitely, of course, with a darker feel. There are a lot of these people who are thanking you for what you've done. They're not necessarily smiling, of course, but it is sort of that feeling where there are just these strangers who are coming up and saying a couple of their words, their small talk, thanking you, and then making their way out. It's very celebrity-esque, where you are getting this rush of serotonin and dopamine from all these moments of thanking and gratitude, but also it comes at a cost of what has happened. As they start to then make their way out of this hall, leaving you all in this empty hall to discuss whatever you wish to do next.
Okay. I flinched when he said Trey, by the way. else. I think again, I'm just exhausted. I'm really focusing on putting one foot in front of the other and being kind to these people when they say thank you. And I'm just saying, like it was nothing kind of thing and you're welcome or whatever. And I'm just trying to get out of there without being rude, but also stay on my feet.
I'm oblivious.
Okay. With a 4 of insight. What's Ty doing?
Avoiding everyone that keeps coming up to me.
Letting me do it.
Just
Like, yeah, you're up. Yeah.
There's someone here for you. Okay.
All right.
Waiting for everyone to calm down. Everyone to leave.
Yeah.
Eventually they do. It's a bit awkward as they do. But now you have finally a moment to yourselves. And I think after a while, some people are standing around and they start to notice that maybe you're looking for some time for yourselves, and then they make their way out.
And then they kind of leave a little bit.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So they're kind of giving you your space here, which is nice. It's the first time you're able to just take a break for a moment.
Collapse. I immediately sit on my butt on the ground. I'm just
The door closes
tired.
as the last person leaves, and then you...
I just flopped to the ground.
Sure.
You all right?
Yes, just really tired. That took a lot out of me.
Alright, so when are we leaving for Wyvern?
We gotta scout first. We don't know what's going on yet. We just know that the town was attacked.
Can we have the Grandmaster scout for us?
Maybe.
We can talk to him, right?
Yeah, but what if that clues her in, Maybe she knows when she's being watched.
I don't know if we have much of a choice.
I don't think we have much of a choice either. She's going to know we were here.
We got a prime chance to counterattack.
That's an assumption. We don't know what we're dealing with. They might have a trap set up. Could be why they use the Wyvern forces.
People coming back into Wyvern. We could pinch a few sets of armor.
Do we know if that's even true?
Well, everyone that's retreating right now.
No, I mean that she's in charge of Wyvern.
But if
How
she is,
certain are we that that was the truth?
Does it matter?
It does, because if it's a lie to get us there, it could be a trap.
Why would it be a
It's
lie
kind
to
of
get us
important.
there?
To take us out there, I would imagine. We walk into a trap, it's kind of all over.
There's no way this attack was just to come after us.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no way they actually think we're here.
Well, they will now, don't you think?
Why?
Do we know if anybody got out? Like, was there a retreat?
There was a large, the switchback and all of the Wyvern, not all of the Wyvern forces, but a large swath of the Wyvern forces have left. And with their siege of the city streets, a lot of this population is now gone, whether or not they are dead or captured. That has also happened. So they either, depending, of course, maybe with that roll from earlier and just this discussion, you would, as a party, probably understand that the street forces, or whoever was on the switchbacks, they came up, the mobs from the switchback came up, disrupted what they could, disturbed what they could, and then either took people away with them or had a retreat for whatever reason. Whether that was a distraction, whether they came for what they needed to, whether they retreated tactfully because they were losing. It's sort of hard to decipher. That's up to you to think. But that was what has happened. They came up, they attacked the best they could. They started a riot. Some of the buildings are on fire. The entire smoke row was almost taken out, as then they retreated. That may or may not be because of the events that you have all kicked off since you showed up, or It could be
Or that
part
was
of
the whole
plan.
point all along. Yeah. Okay.
It's hard to tell.
Okay. Let's take the assumption that she doesn't know and that she is just sitting pretty in Wyvern. The best chance we've got is right now to sneak in and gut her like the pig she is. Alternatively, she sent an entire force over here so that we might guess that she's sitting in Wyvern and would use this opportunity to go
It's not
there
about might
into
guessing.
a trap.
I actually think it's highly probable.
No.
It's not about might guessing. Literally, the first person we captured and talked to told us that she's there.
Okay.
She could just be willing to lose that Wyvern soldier to get us that information. It's not like she didn't know we were here.
She doesn't know we're trying to kill her.
No, but she knew we were here.
Or should make a deception. I'm sorry, a stealth.
Oh,
When Ty said those
20,
words.
nat 20.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Continue.
Now, if she's been spying on us for our dreams, how can she possibly have broken through into Flaris? Place is dodgy.
Well, we may have been safe in Flaris, but we weren't here when we first got to Blue Falls.
Right.
We know they knew we were here. So
Do you honestly think we're that much of a thorn in her side right now?
I think so. They sent an entire army after us.
We don't know they sent them after us. They sent a couple of assassins after sort of us. Sort of Selray. They saw an opportunity to claim an expansion point and the spell sale things. They took it with the closest forces they could muster up. Fire out Wyvern, see if they can get the job done. If not, march the rest down. They've tested Blue Falls now, haven't they? They know what's waiting for them. You think they're going to fuck it up a second time? Don't know. Doesn't
I
matter.
would.
Right now, she's right there, a
Maybe.
day away.
Maybe.
All right. So we put on the mask.
And go?
What else are we going to do?
What
Want
do
to
you
miss
think,
this
Smith?
prime opportunity?
I think we need to scout before we do anything. I also agree with Ty that I think that this is the most vulnerable that she's been, depending on whatever we were to scout. If we find out that the Sworn Army has stationed themselves there to essentially set up a bulwark, then we might be running into far worse than we imagined. They could have just pushed up to Wyvern in terms of positioning their armies. I don't know if High Hollow and Trader's Reach would be accommodating, or if they would just seek not to push any sort of conflict. I don't know.
Why send the forces of Wyvern? Why send the fucking mayor himself?
Yeah, that's
So
weird.
that they don't have to waste their own troops.
How
Yeah,
did they
so they don't
convince
have
the
to
mayor
wait
to
for
do
their
that?
own- Yeah. Certainly not with money. They must have promised something else.
She
They
might
could
have
have
been under a
promised-
spooky spell.
Well, they could have promised Blue Falls. We take this technology, you claim the city. It could have been appealing directly to the mayor. There's a lot of different possibilities. Ultimately, we don't know. But I think the undercurrent here that we should focus on is that, number one, I think Ty is right with how vulnerable she is. Number two, the town is safe for now. Number three, what are our other choices for how to proceed? We could maybe...
What if we don't go directly for her? What if when we ask the Grandmaster to scout ahead, he scouts for the army that just retreated? That way she won't know.
How do we know that? If you set off alarm bells for her, she's gone. Straight back to the second throne. We don't need to scout it. She's either there or she ain't. We risk giving her a head start.
This also isn't necessarily the easiest of trips. It's not a day away. We're looking at maybe a week that we have to travel, potentially right behind any retreating forces. You can imagine that as a small group, we would move quicker than an army.
I say we trail them. Trail the army. Wait till they open the portcullis. We walk straight in with them. They close the door behind us. How hard can it be to find a fucking queen in a little place like Wyvern? She's either going to be in the most highly defended area or parading around, soaking in the small town attention. We'll find her in seconds.
Well, we might run into an issue with disguises. You all have masks. And I can disguise myself, but only for a limited time.
Ty doesn't need a disguise. He can just hide.
There's a bunch of dead soldiers outside. Pull the boots off her feet. We don't have to
He's
get through
got
the
a
gate.
point.
What do you think, Varsha?
I don't think it's a good idea, but I can't tell you why. So, that's not a good enough reason.
All right.
Feels like I'm just missing a puzzle piece. Like
How
this
about
was a
plan B?
play of some sort, and I just don't know what the move was.
Send me and the Foxfather in. He's a merc, ain't he?
I was thinking that when he said he did it for money. Why can't we just hire him?
Counter offer.
The problem is, the way they are, they're kind of infatuated with the way the Sworn do things.
He's edging his bets on the winning side, that's all.
I don't know if that's true.
Biggest bag of coin. Who can pay
I think
better?
he may have said biggest bag of coin, but he didn't say whether or not he agreed with it. That doesn't necessarily mean he's lying.
We also don't know how devoted they are to their actual home. Are they willing to actually do work like this against Wyvern? It's one thing to be a mercenary and work for money, doing jobs that you don't want to do. But it's another to do them against your home.
But we ain't asking him to kill the mayor, he's already dead. We're asking him to sneak in and find the queen, confirm she's there.
Could be an easier sell.
They're expecting him to come back,
He could at least tell us a faster way.
and it means we don't set off any alarm bells if we try and scry on her.
So what, we bring him with us? What's to say he doesn't have some way to communicate? We put a mask on him?
Suppose we could do that.
All right,
When do we leave? I guess.
let's get some rest.
Okay.
You look like you're about to fall over.
Yeah. Where are we right now? Can I just close my eyes and sleep here?
You could.
I'm in the middle of town.
You're pretty much in the middle of the town hall, which is this building in. Their town hall is that building in the top left here.
You know what? I think I do. I think I'm that tired.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think-
Like I said, this building didn't see battle. It was probably far enough
Yeah.
away. You can overlook the town from here. It is like the council chamber for all intents and purposes. A lot of the Twin Shields use this for their meetings and such like that.
Yeah.
They don't really live
and
here,
people
but
know we
there
were
is-
in here
Yeah.
and were giving us privacy. So I think
Yes, I think this is
I'm
probably
like
a good
sitting
time.
on the ground and I just lean back and close my eyes and fall asleep
Sure.
instantly, probably.
Yeah, it takes probably 2 or 3 breaths, and then you start to hear the deep breaths of Varsha as she is beginning to fall into a sleep.
I take a seat nearby, and I'm relaxing but not sleeping.
Or
You still hurt?
No. Jet saw to it. Just need to catch my breath a bit.
Yeah. He's a good one.
Yeah.
You think if we do find the queen, I wonder if she is this night hag. I wonder what would happen if we are able to kill her.
Well, at best, it completely cripples the other side, takes out a key point. Their entire defense system falls down. By the time they figure it out again, we've found ourselves a new stronghold. At worst, another player off the board, innit? And a strong one. And politically strong.
I meant more along the lines of what the Godking will do in retaliation.
Don't give a fuck. Let him come. I've been waiting for him my whole life. I've been trying to kick this hornet's nest, get him buzzing, get him or her to come out for years.
You understand that the retaliation might not be against us directly, right?
Doesn't matter. I told you once, we're all dead. All of us. Doesn't matter. We get them out. Root out the rotten. The next generation. They'll fix it all. It's too late for us.
So, Creighton, the loving queen, and the God King. Maybe the way of the grasp. These are our targets.
Yeah.
Going to have to kill again.
Yeah. Couple of names I don't mind scratching off my list in blood, you know?
You know, it was difficult not to head down the switchback and cut off the retreating army. The things I can do now.
Well, whatever you do, it's the right choice. Because you're doing it for you now. Don't second guess yourself. Just do.
Yeah, I guess we'll see if all of this is the right choice or not.
Doesn't matter. It's your choice. For once. You know?
I'm going to, just check with Uru and see if, we can spare any scouting supplies that we might need. And check on Jet.
Right. I'll stay here with Varsha.
Yeah, get some rest.
With the theremin, boy.
He mused aloud, and although his apprentice was indeed in the room, it seemed almost as if the mage was speaking.
With this mark, you shall be his blade.
With this mark, I shall be his blade.
We open as Jet and Dosane make their way down the switchbacks or the stone stairs of the estate down toward the Upflow Inn. You make your way inside. And there are several people here. They seem to have been brought by some of Uru's scouts, not necessarily Uru, but some of the people, and also some of the other probably strapping heroes of the town. A town that is made up and run by ex-adventurers, they call themselves, but also civilians of this town seem to also be pretty rough and tumble in the fact that they either have traveled the wanderings, or they come from the wanderings, or they smuggle things in and out, or they also have just decided to stay here, which probably was a miscalculation by the Wyvern forces, that these people do know how to fight. But nevertheless, they have also sustained their fair amount of damage and wounds. As you make your way inside, like I said, there are several people. There are some of the tables have been cleared off, and there are people on top of them. There are blankets there as well, and they have done their best to either suture, cinch, bind, or wrap some of these wounds. A lot of them seem to be knife wounds, and a lot of them seem to. And there are a few people who have some sort of blunt force trauma when it comes to this moment, or come to the events here. I would like a medicine check, as you just sort of this sort of goes for a broad sense of the room and how everyone is doing.
Okay. Of the wounded, who are the wounded?
Of the
are
wounded.
They just, like people of Blue Falls, are they
Yeah.
also maybe the fallen from the
Women.
enemy side as well?
Yeah, there are about 18 or so, as you make a quick head count as I roll a d20 to see how many people. 18 or so wounded here. Of that, there are 3 of them seem to be lucky enough to survive from the Wyvern side. They don't necessarily recognize them, but a lot of the people here are strangers as well. It's not necessarily entirely easy for you to recognize Wyvern versus Blue Falls. It's not like they have uniforms or anything. But the Wyvern forces, I think some of the people who introduce you to them or introduce you and Dosane to this patient or this hurt person, they were fighting for Wyvern, or they seem to be fighting from the other side. This one seemed to crawl out from under the porch, wounded, his friend's dead, but I think they worked for Wyvern. As they just sort of mention that in passing. I don't know if that necessarily affects Jet in any way of how Jet would react, but there are some that are fortunate, enough to have survived probably the rage or the anger of these civilians, and maybe even fortunate enough to be brought in by some of the kinder of the civilians who found them, or the townsfolk who found them. And while we're on the subject of these 3, one of them does seem to have a large knife wound that goes down their bisects their bicep, like down there. Not bisects, that would be too much. There's a large cut that goes down, that runs down from their shoulder to their elbow, just right across their bicep. There is also, they seem to have a large black eye is beginning to swell over their bloodshot eye. Looks like there may be some sort of bleeding inside the eye, as well as it almost looks like the eye is purple, or a dark purple, as they sort of open it, and you can see this dark iris, and maybe half of the eyeball is flown with blood. They try to wipe it and squint every once in a while to try to clear it, as if something is bothering them. I don't know if anybody has ever felt this sort of internal bleeding in an eyeball or popped a blood vessel, but sometimes it does obstruct your vision. And I think this person, and you don't quite necessarily know. It's not like your vision turns red and you're like, oh, I've got blood in my eye. But it's definitely a feeling that just is discomfort, and I don't think that they necessarily know how wounded they look, because you definitely look much worse when you have your eye damaged like that. And I think that is probably one of the first people you see, probably right when you walk in. Someone does introduce you to them. They are a Wyvern soldier, large bruising around their head, and this large cut down their arm. And I think as you approach, they just sort of look over at you and laugh. Are you here to help?
I suppose I don't really pay attention to what they're saying to me, because if they're trying to goad me, I am looking around to see, and regardless of who they are or where they are from, just to triage who needs the most help. If this person is the most injured, then
as you sort of let that wash off of you, as this person tries to greet or goad or whatever they may be doing, you are still in this hyper-focused mode, as you are trying to find who may be hurt the most. Go ahead, give me a medicine check.
12.
Go ahead, give me another medicine check.
Okay.
I don't like that one. That was for the broad scope.
Okay.
This one's for a new 11.
All
Perfect.
right.
Just
11.
just as great. So as you look around, you see that there is one person, a woman. She seems to be wearing a dress. She has a leather cuirass on over her dress, like she may have put it on and then started her fighting. It seems to be there's light colors, the light gray dress, I think, but there is blood probably running down the back of the cuirass and down and trickling into the dress fray itself. She is rolled over onto her side, and you could hear her whimpering, and there are people trying to tend to the wound. This wound has not been addressed recently or cinched or bound. It looks like they're still trying to figure that out. It's like you're walking in mid-surgery toward this, not necessarily as probably graphic, but I think that is what it's like. There are these people tending and trying to help, and there are some people who are resting, relaxing, and trying to heal in their triage, and I think you and Dosane may probably make a beeline over toward that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is the place appropriately kitted out? Do we have medical kits? Do we have blade sprig? Because that was very helpful last time.
That is, you have, it is not very well kitted out. You have as much alcohol as you'd like to help, but there's also fire available, water, food. But when it comes to blade sprig and things like that, they are running low here. There may be some in and around, and I think because this town is based off of trade and also a bit of smuggling from some of the people, it is not frowned upon to smuggle in because it is a lot of their import could be from smuggling. And I think that being said, there may be some people who are already out looking in their own houses and their own private stores to see what they have to bring to help. Is when it comes to blade sprig and things like that sort of bomb we had. But I think throughout this scene, there are people who show up with more resources and, of course, more people who are hurt.
Okay.
There is, at least on this scene, at this table, there is no blade sprig.
Right.
They are trying their best to suture. She is whining and wincing with pain as you sort of like look and see how she's doing. She has a bit of cloth that she's balled up and bitten onto, and there's tears. She's on her side once again. There are tears as she's trying to go through this. But on her back, right next to her spine, down her shoulder blade, there seems to be some sort of wound. It looks like a stab wound on account of the amount of blood that is that they are trying to help with. And once again, I'm sorry anybody who is watching and are like, this is pretty rough. It's a triage scene. I'm trying my best to be delicate as I can, but this is probably going to happen. I'm going to try not to be as graphic, but sometimes there's going to be blood and such. So.
Okay. Well, in that case, if they're not very well kitted out, I am going to reach into my pouch.
Mm-hmm.
I have a small fist-sized pouch. Inside it has several about 5-inch long rectangles made of a interesting-looking iron.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to then get some a powdery reagent I have in my other pockets, and I'm going to look around and just make sure that I have everything I need and know what I want. And I'm going to sprinkle that over those rectangles. And as I do, you'll see these tools start to take form in the shape of various bits of herbalism kits and things to help me with rationing and portioning out bits of, reagents and stuff that I have, as I always have the right tools for the job as an alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to then...
Which is so great for triage. Oh, look, I have the things I need. Yeah.
Exactly. Then I'm going to...
Not so Mary Poppins.
No, there's no sugar in here, just
medicine.
Right. And it's going to go down with the healer's healing. So I have all manner of things I can use to heal people with. I have a healing kit. I still have charges with it to help people out this way. So all her injuries are superficial.
Yes.
Okay. Well, in that case...
Superficial in the fact that...
she is not blinded, she's not been paralyzed, nothing like that.
No. Make me a medicine check as you sort of now begin to inspect her as you are
Okay.
closer now onto the scene with her.
All right, with a 17, what would
She
that
is
give
not
me?
paralyzed.
Okay.
There's a superficial wound in the back. Superficial.
All right.
Hit points are missing, but she is exhausted, in pain, hurt, very much so. But if this goes untreated, it could be bad.
Okay. Well, this seems simple enough for me. I'm not going to use any magic. I'm just going to
Sure.
get down to work. I'm going to reach into my kits and, well, if there's any bleeding, I'm going to, first of all, make that fixing reagent I use all the time for Ty and put it into a little spritzer. I don't know what the word is for this sort of device, but it's a small leathery sack with a pump on the side, and I'm going to spray it on the wound.
It's like a
As it does, it's
perfume, sort of like a perfume bottle of old, but it is, instead of there being an air pump in the bottle, I think the whole thing squeezes. So like a whole leather bladder that squeezes with a misty nozzle on it.
And with this, you're going to see almost like the wound, the blood or whatever, is going to take life almost. Even though it's not magic of a sort, it is only my healer's healing. It's going to start to maybe like pull back, change color, go from a blood red to almost looking like maybe perhaps there might be magic in this after all. I'm hyperventilating a tiny bit, and you're going to see the
and so of course magic may show up.
Right, they're going to see the tendrils of blood and all that kind of stuff kind of lift up, change color into what looks like almost like a skin-colored thread, and turn back into the wound. And as it does, it's going to start to suture itself from the inside out. Turns out I use magic in this. If I need to, I'm going to
It shouldn't be so
apply
hard.
magic.
I don't need magic. And then you realize you're using magic, and you're like, oh, wait, never mind. I guess I just naturally do magic now.
I suppose she was further gone than I thought.
Yeah.
But she gets 1d6 plus 4 straight away.
Okay.
No free of charge from me.
Free of charge. Okay. You want to roll it?
Okay. You may roll it if you want it. I bought it on my own.
Alrighty. +1.
Okay.
7.
All right. So she has been healed for that much. And then, of course, how is she looking? If she's stable, then I'll go to other people. Otherwise.
She is stable. You start to hear her giggle a bit, almost maybe in disbelief, not necessarily like, haha, this is fun, but like there is that, when you have that nervousness and then you have that nervous laugh, like, oh, this is working. I think you hear a chuckle like that coming from her. She is conscious. There is a bit of like a pinching feeling that you would know of with this arcane needle that is suturing from the inside out. But there is a bit of like disbelief chuckle coming from her. She sort of turns as much as she can, I think, in the midst of this to try to look and see what is happening and who is doing what towards her back. She does wince in pain as she does, whether or not you're like, don't do that. She tries to... She then reaches her arm around and places the back of her hand on the tabletop as if and then opens her hand dramatically like she's looking.
I reach out to high five.
Yeah.
Then I realize what I'm doing. Sorry.
Yeah, and then she grabs your hand as you do.
Oh,
and she
awkward.
squeezes it. And and as she's turned around, she says, "Thank you so much." And she's just, there's a lot of grip here. There is pain happening, but it's an appreciative.
I'm sure. Yes. On both sides.
It's an appreciative handshake as you are able to suture this. Dosane is impressed and looks down and smiles. Good, all right, she's in good hands. I'm going to check over here. And Dosane makes his way over to another family. There's a family of a couple of children who are hurt. They are, and Dosane takes out some kelp and starts to weave a poultice onto some of the wounds, and then with some divine light, able to heal these children and this family back to full health. It does take some time. But this continues to go on for a bit as you sort of go from one station to another, helping the town of Blue Falls. And for about as much time as it took the last scene for them to talk, and also then for Smith to make his way down the switchbacks and towards the upflow. Smith, you enter as you meant to check on Jet as the doors open and you see... Jet, let us know.
Oh, yes. As he enters, I'm sure he's going to see a similar scene to what you described, with the violet flying around. The children changing colors in her little chamber there, glowing in the dark or whatever to amuse them as things are going on to distract them. You see puffs of different kinds of colors of smoke and things in the general area, not enough to disturb the doctors, but just to keep the children, occupied by this mobile of violet flying around them.
I love that so much. Okay, yeah, I love that image. Violet is flying around and being entertainment for the kids, changing her vile color around, squeaking, her nose being a cork. For those of you who do not know, and you're coming in for the first time and you're like, what the hell's a violet? Violet is the homunculus of Jet. It is it sort of has like this vellum of leather wings and also a body of a bottle. It squeaks around like a bat and flies around like a bat as well. As these children begin to sort of play and catch and enjoy and laugh and giggle with Violet. Meanwhile, Jet is in the background helping these poor people. And that's what you see, Smith. Dosane as well is in a corner. There are a couple other people of medicine here and people of the cloth, whether that is medicine or it is
Tailors.
Divine energy, or even just tailors. Yeah, they're all here helping and doing what they can. There are, of course, people coming in with more supplies. Oh, I've got more blade sprig. Oh, yeah, as well. But that is
okay. Over here, please.
Make my way over to Jet.
Oh, hello. Are you here to help?
I guess if you need it.
Oh, okay. Have you ever done this before?
Well, here and there, sometimes.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We'll make this one an easy one. There's this one chap. He's been waiting for a while, but he's not really that hot. I've just treated. Yes, you can tell. The ones that make noise like that are the ones that generally don't necessarily need as much help as the ones who are quiet. Because, anyway, so I have here, and I reach into my satchel and I get a white bandage. It looks clean, peculiarly clean, but that's because I clean it with using prestidigitation, so it's not necessarily clean with soap. And we're coming 1 minute, sir. And I'm going to pass it to Smith, and I'm going to say, okay, let's go to this man over here. This, I'm sure you're aware, is Blade Sprig. I've already, I show him this a mortar, and I've already crushed it already. This will help. It's not magical. It will essentially just help to fix any wounds and to provide a second skin. And what we're going to do is just to help to immobilize his arm using the Blade Sprig mixture and the bandage. So, hello, sir. My name is Jet, and this is my friend Mr. Stone, and he's going to help with your arm.
Thank you.
It's of course. So, I'm going to need you, sir, in the bed to just put your hand. I'm going to place the end of the Blade Sprig bandage on the where the arm looks to be the most funny.
There is a large cut that goes from the back of their knuckle down toward their wrist. It's not. It looks way worse than it is. It could have been helped if a suture happened quickly, but now it's just sort of blood all over the place, and they haven't treated it. And I think you have this mindset to know and to see wounds and go, that's not as bad, that's not as bad, that's the worst, I should go do with that. And you've been doing that. And this person has just been sort of low on the docket, and they've been complaining this whole time, so that sort of doesn't help either. But it looks way worse than it is, and this person is an older person as well as they also complain that their elbow isn't moving as well as it should.
Right.
Because they were pushed down, and they have a scrape on their jaw as well as if they were pushed down. So all of the forensic science of what happened to this person does make sense. As they are, please.
Okay, of course.
Yes.
We're going to deal with your elbow so we can get to your arm and help you with that nasty-looking cut, okay? So first of all, we're going to do what I believe we call a closed reduction. So that just means that I'm going to, and I look
Heard
at my
about
arms.
these. They could be pretty dangerous, yes?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. But we're okay. I have
All right. I had a
Mr.
friend
Stone
who
here to... Of
did
course.
triage back in the
Right.
day. We over in Bearden's Hollow. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Stone, if you want to come here, please. And so you see how the elbow is kind of bent the wrong way.
Oh.
We're going to just, Mr. Smith, that's you, Stone. You're going to help me just, I guess, grab the arm from both sides, and we're going to just gently ease it back into a normal range of motion.
Gently, and you want me?
I mean, better than me. I mean, I don't have the strength for it, you know. What they say, you don't use a blunted knife to go and chop tomatoes or potatoes now. So I'm going to need your arms, please, to help me set this person's arm back the way it should be.
I'm going to retract my armor.
Sure. Starts to then. Reminder, if you have a small, like, backpack and such on your back that it retracts into? I'm trying to remember. Or is it a orb?
It retracts. Yeah, it basically, there's different plates that it's kind of along the body that it kind of retracts into. So, like, I have a bracer that, the arms retract into.
The bracers, and then, got it.
A belt.
Cool. So, like, you may have, like, a belt around your torso that then those are the plates for your torso, and then you've got these bracers that are the bracers for your arms. Okay, cool, got it. So you've got these. You have reduced armor right now as everything sort of goes in.
All right.
Okay, so I just need you to help me. Okay. So you see how my arm moves like this, Mr. Smith? Well, I'm going to hold from one side, and I looked at the person and I said, so tell me about yourself. And as I'm talking to him, I'm going to ask Smith to help me just, pop his arm back into place, as it were.
Oh, I was, about me? About what happened?
Both, what is your name?
I'm Billis. I was trying earlier to help fight with the forces. Do you know who they were? I was, I took what I could when it came to what I had available. I had a sword and things like that. And I need you both to make me a medicine. So you're probably assisting each other.
Him?
Yeah, you.
Okay. I'm assisting, but
You're
I rolled a natural one, but I'm not the one actually doing the thing. I'm just talking to the person.
That's okay.
This is my bedside manner.
Smith, roll me one as well because you're
Sure,
assisting.
I'll use my inspiration.
You don't need to, because this is already inspiration for you, like the higher of the two of these.
Okay.
It's just like a team advance, advantage.
10.
All right, great. So with a 10. But you're helping Maya, right? You're helping, so we are using Smith's stats here. Great.
We're using Smith's stats, yes.
Yeah, great. So it was a natural one still. and as he continues talking, I had my short sword back when I was able to, and then you...
Okay, and you're doing very well. Mm-hmm. I don't know who this... Yes, no, you're fine. Okay, so very, very good, very good. Okay, all right.
He begins to slowly move the arm the way it should. And go on.
Okay, and so now that we have access to the hand now, and that arm seems to be fine for the moment. All right, now you see Violet fly in, and she goes from a violet color to what looks like a clear substance. And in fact, it is just water as the cork pops open. And she's going to just hover over the wrist, and then the wings are going to cross and then extend. And as she does, you're going to see a small torrent of water, more so than what's inside Violet herself, come out and wash this wound. Okay. Exactly, yes.
As it clears, as the water just sort of gushes around and clears the wound, you're able to see that, like I said, it is much less, and you confirmed, much less... the bark was worse than it's a bite, really. It just needs probably a stitch or two, and then it's probably fine. But
all right.
The worst part was probably the elbow.
Okay.
leaning backwards.
As the bloodied water hits the floor, you see that it doesn't stop there, as this was not just water but prestidigitation, and you see the blood now start to turn into bubbles, and these small red bubbles kind of self-clean themselves, and by the time they float to the ceiling, they are just clear white bubbles, and by the time they touch the ceiling, they're gone.
Cool.
Okay. All right, so...
Simple enough to probably... This is something you've done before, Smith. You've sutured wounds before.
We won't even need so because luckily we have a tiny bit of blade sprig. So you have seen this maybe once before, Mr. Smith. It's more or less just the nature's equivalent of stitches. And, it's not going to scar. So all we need to do, I have the paste here, is you're going to just apply some small in a vertical line across the wound. And that should fix anything.
Sure you don't need me to cauterize it?
Oh, no. Cauterizing will definitely scar, and it's not necessary. Not in this day and age, no.
It's just faster, okay.
I mean, it is faster, but depending on who you're doing it on, you might end up killing them instead.
Have you gotten your training, young man?
Me?
Training?
No, you, as he points to Smith.
Yes, me.
First of all, I'm not young. Second of all,
To me, you are.
I'm just helping out. You can try and take care of this yourself if you want.
No.
All right, then. Shut up.
So, I believe, triage 102, bedside manner is going to be, of course, our first, anyway. Just, if you want to just help apply this on the wrist, and then he should be fine.
Okay. As you help each other with fixing different things as well, and a couple of people get fixed, and the hand of Billis gets is cured. There isn't much except maybe a sling that is wrapped around his neck. He insists that he would have a sling.
Okay.
Though, yes, he can move it, and he's probably fine, but he would much rather be more comfortable with the sling. And it could just be the fact that it is somehow his pride, and he is one of those people who really like to be injured and loves the attention, which we all know people like that. And this person...
If you would like a scar, we can do one for you,
this is probably going to be enough, but...
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. As Billis makes their way out into the...
You just let me know if you need any scars.
No, thank you. They make their way into the crowd. But
I'm good at this.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say so.
As we then switch scenes to Ty and Varsha.
So the wonder thing about blade sprig is that, when you apply it to wounds like...
Ty, you are spending some time probably just resting. Maybe if we were talking mechanically, short rest maybe. And Varsha, I think as well, but you took a nap.
Right, okay.
You could still be sleeping, but I just wanted to check in and see what you both were doing during this time, or what your plans are.
How long was I sleeping?
No idea.
Okay,
You feel rested?
not really.
All right.
Rested enough, I guess.
No weird dreams?
No, actually. Nothing.
Make me a con save.
It is just, for me, it is long rest to get rid of the exhaustion, right?
Yes.
I think? Yeah. All right. 14?
No dreams.
No dreams? Okay. Right. No, nothing, actually.
All right. What do you think then?
About what? The plan?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel really strange. I'm just trying to navigate
No,
it.
we'll long it off. We'll long it off then. We'll go back to the
No.
academy.
I mean, I feel strange in general.
All the more
Since
reason to go back.
going through the portal. What do you mean, go back where?
Academy.
Oh, I'm not... You mean retreat?
Not really. We won.
But I think you're right. I think if she is there and this isn't some sort of play, if she is overconfident and just thought she could take Blue Falls, and she's sitting there waiting. I don't really want to lose that chance either. I just don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to be overconfident. I don't want to... We can't afford to lose, you know?
Here, look at this. See this scar? That was given to me by a sworn recruit. Must have been 12. And then that one across the back of my hand. Just a misstep of my own. Gave the soldier in front of me a chance to turn his sword over. That was it. His sword, my sword, something. Cut my hand open. Didn't know what it was. Big old scar looking at me. And then there's this one. On my stomach. That one should have killed me. That was from Red Devon. I called him an ore son. And then I got this jippy elbow. That's never quite set. And that was from a fall on account of Lorcan teaching me something, some technique in which you could float upwards. Levitating like some whimsical fucking lark on an updraft. I couldn't maintain it anyway, like most of them. Fell into a bookshelf. He could have cushioned my fall. He'd done it before, but he didn't that time. See, the thing with all these scars is that I ain't ashamed of them. They define me, right? But they weren't all my own doing. It was all because someone else told me to go somewhere, or someone wanted me to learn something, or I had to kill him before he killed me, or I pissed off Red Devon. The first choice I ever made in my entire life was to bring you to the academy instead of following Lorcan. Because I believed that you, Varsha, whether it'll be your hand or your influence, I think you're going to be the end of the Godking. There's going to be a new way. As you've shown me, what we're doing today, it ain't for us. It's for the little us's tomorrow.
That's why we can't afford to lose.
That's why I trust you more than I trust myself. I trust your gut. I will always offer an opinion, my advice. If you say we don't go, we don't go. If you say we run in, spells blazing, we run in. If you tell me to pack a fucking bag and we're gonna live out the rest of our days in a little cottage in the beyond south, I'll pack a bag. So what do you think we should do?
We go to Wibben.
go find the others. Let them know. Come up with a plan. A proper plan.
You wouldn't really be happy packing a bag, would you?
You lot sat around learning spells for the last month. Pissing about, noses in books. Out there summoning up fire and dropping all sorts of stuff into glass bottles and mixing them with other ones. You know what I did?
Waited, right?
Not even that. I did nothing. For the first time ever. Nothing. I think about 2 weeks of it. Felt like there was ants crawling all over my skin. Like there was something I needed to do, an itch I couldn't scratch. I should be going here, I should be doing that. I should go out to the forest. At least practice my archery. But then the next 2 weeks, I did nothing. I just relaxed. And I mean properly relaxed. Let my mind drift. Let my body sit. I don't know if I liked it. I could do it. It was with you. If we brought Smith, Jet, maybe some of the others. We just fucked off. Could we live with ourselves? Probably not. But could I do it? Yeah. If you wanted to.
I didn't ask if you could do it. I asked if you would be happy, but that is an answer.
Do you think I'm going to be happy if we go bowling over to Wyvern, plunge a knife into that bitch, get caught in a trap, get everyone fucking killed?
No.
Think I'm going to be happy if we go back to the academy, sit around for a month?
No.
There you go. There's no room for happiness in my future.
I'm starting to realize that myself. I don't think there is that for us.
Me and Smith was talking about it. I don't think the purpose of life is to be happy. Not for people like us. But we can be useful. And we can be honourable to those who deserve it. We can deliver some justice to those who deserve it too. Don't have to be happy, but we can make our fucking mark that we lived, you know?
What was it like?
What, talking to Smith?
No, they were relaxing, doing nothing.
It was nothing. That means it wasn't bad either.
I hope little Ties and little Varshas can just sit and do nothing. When we're done.
Well, we're gonna have to kill some people first then. Well, some people and a god.
Can you The change that's happened to me.
Yeah. Every now and then I feel all sorts of things coming down the pipeline. Yeah, the change is, there was a point where something spoke to me. I think it was trying to speak to you, but this shit got in the way. It promised me power.
Oh, yeah.
I said, yeah, I'll have it. But I don't think I got it.
I said no.
Where's all this coming from then?
It was always here. I don't know how to explain it. I can just feel it now. It's the space when you breathe, when you hold your breath. It's that moment that Sykes was talking about. It's always been here. I'm worried that I'm on a ledge that I will not be able to step back from. I don't want to become the next Godking.
Do you really think you would?
I hope not. No, No, but occasionally I can see there are just these moments when Smith gave that man water, and I thought about just solidifying it in his throat and choking him to death. So he couldn't go back, or it was very vivid.
You didn't do it though, did you?
No, I didn't.
What are you worried about?
Something changed going through that.
Yeah, you got access to a lot of power now.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of people out there with a lot of power. A lot of people using it for good. A lot of people using it for bad.
You know what I'm asking you, right?
I'd rather take my chances with God Queen Varsha than what we've got in place.
Bye. Please.
Yeah, I'd do it.
Thank you. Wyvern, then?
Yeah. No time like the present.
I assume you both pick yourself up
Yep.
and make your way out
Yeah.
down the stone stairs to find the
Yep. I think I struggle a little bit to like stand up and collect my things, I guess. But then I brave face it because I'm going to be walking outside.
The doors open. The smell of smoke hangs on the air, reminding you of where you are, what's happened, and what is of Blue Falls right now. As you and Ty both make your way toward the upflow to meet with the others. As we switch scenes back to the upflow. Inside there are...
I can just cauterize it if you want.
I think I'm gonna be all right. Thank you,
You-
though.
Forgive my friend, he's still learning.
It's not that bad. I don't even.
Right.
Thank you, though.
They just have a cold, Mr. Tai. I mean, it's Mr. Smith, even. I expect better of you.
Thanks.
Okay.
As you continue
You said
to...
they were cold. What do you...
I understand. It's a turn of phrase. They have a cold, but it doesn't mean they need fire to cauterize it.
I know the difference. They said that they were cold, so...
I think I'm okay. Thank you.
As this
Okay.
patient that you are...
I'll find a
working
blanket.
with, sort of scoffs and is confused and starts to walk away.
right.
At this point, one of the children playing with Violet in the background sort of turn and look over at you and smile, and then turn back and play. And then, as you are both talking to one another, she makes her way over and sort of tugs at the underclothes of Smith. What does that look like? What are is it like a robe? Do you look... Me, I'm thinking you look like a
Black.
Jedi under there. But I don't
It's all
know.
black underneath.
Okay. You feel a tugging of these...
If anything, it looks probably like almost like a jumpsuit kind of thing, you know.
Sure.
It's just like a mechanic, you know,
Yeah.
almost like a mechanic's
like
kind of
like a
garb.
boiler's outfit, but
Yeah.
you have these bracers of metal and belts in places. That
Yeah.
Cool. And I also think that you have your components and things as well around, strapped to you in various places. So a tugging happens on the on this outfit that you wear, on the cloth. As you turn and you look, and this child with braided hair, it seems to be a bit haphazard right now, as she looks up with these hopeful eyes and says,
Are you a wizard?
she sort of points to the book at your side.
Why?
I want to be one.
And you see looks like a parent or a guardian nearby, just sort of smiles. Sorry.
Well, I've learned a little bit, but I don't know if...
Sorry.
Huldra.
Please.
She really likes magic, I'm sorry.
Can you teach me something? Please?
teach you.
Yeah, because then I
something.
would be able to defend. Next time. If there's a next time. But I can defend Blue Falls. Please, please, please.
Huldra.
What?
All right. This one takes some practice, though.
You don't have to. But I thank you. He sort of says,
Please. Okay, what? What is it?
and the father, the guardian, sort of like looks.
I'm gonna bend down, sort of look her right in the eyes, and I've got I'm used to
Yeah.
being intimidating and overbearing, so it's
Yeah.
probably pretty scary. I just kind of look at her and I say, a lot of people make an assumption that if you're in a fight, the best thing you have to do is do the most damage. You hurt someone, you do something like that. Well, the most important thing in a fight is to be smart. You think you're smart?
Yeah. I know I'm smart.
All right, good. It's a good start.
This moment, her father, you would assume, starts to make their way over to you, Jet, at least stand next to you during this interaction where Smith is crouched down talking with Vuldra, this child, and turns to you and goes, are you free?
Sure, of course. Do you need help?
Yes. Mother is hurt.
Oh, okay. Where is she? I haven't seen her inside this place yet. I've gone
She's not here.
a couple of times.
She's at home.
At home? Okay. Mr. Smith. This man says that his wife is injured at home.
I look at him and I look at the girl. I'm kneeling down. Then I look at Jet and I say, good thing you announced it.
What do you mean?
Wait.
Go with him.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll be back soon then.
Mommy's hurt?
Vuldra, she's fine. We've got it's fine. Everything's going to be taken care of. We've got
My friend there. You see that man?
Yeah.
He's the one that's been helping everybody. I'm sure it's nothing serious. I'll take care of it.
Okay.
Don't you, Jet?
Yes, of course.
Well, then get to it.
Okay. That man sometimes I don't understand. Anyway, lead the way, please.
and I think the Vuldra probably has her eyes on both her father and you, Jet, as you are escorted out of the upflow, and then I think we sort of see maybe Smith sort of get her attention again, and they start to then.
Can you see the Spellwind?
The Spellwind, I think.
In what state
Is that
she?
the-
I mean,
Is that
we're
the...
not sorry.
It's like the breeze that the fans catch
Yeah.
sometimes?
Well, that's where magic comes from.
That's what I thought.
You have to be able to. Well, you have to be able to coax the Spellwind to do what you want. You have to know the right words. You have to know the right hand gestures. And you have to know a lot of math. Are you ready to study a lot of math?
Yeah,
All right.
I don't like math.
Well, this...
Does it have to be math?
Yeah. You gonna complain about it?
No.
Wizards don't complain.
Okay. Is that book full of math?
Yeah, a lot of math.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what. Once you learn it, you can do things like this. You see the Spellwind here? I'm going to use these hand gestures. Move my hands as if I'm shaping it. pull it in towards me. And while I do so, I'm going to utter words. And these are part of the incantation. Fomus Inturus. And I breathe in the Spellwind. And I begin to blow it out slowly, and fog begins to cover the area. Remember how I said it's important to be smart? Well, sometimes it's a good idea to make sure that the bad people, they can't see anything.
Okay.
And I get rid of the fog.
Fog disappears as the camera moves away from this scene as you are talking with Vuldra about the Spellwind and showing her some of the secrets and what you know at a entry level, of course. As we follow Jet down the street with her father.
Okay, well, we must hurry then. I mean, in what state is she?
She's been coughing.
Okay.
She has been exhausted. It seems like she's been trying to fall asleep. She did have a cut on her hand from someone, one of the forces. She was trying her best to defend, and I'm really worried. Right this way, and he.
Okay.
Brings you toward Smoke Row, a decimated neighborhood of where a lot of the residents of Blue Falls are. And he introduces himself as Morbrin. Morbrin, by the way.
Jet.
Yes, that was Vuldra, and my wife is Thordred. I'm really worried about infection, poison. I'm not sure. But
Okay.
if I was to guess, it's likely the latter.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I can sort that out. You can see that.
And you can do that.
Of course, yes, no problem.
Okay.
You can see that as the man is talking, Violet is flying above. The cork, which sometimes has a needle on it, seems to have some sort of almost like a pen tip now to it. The substance inside Violet now more of a dark indigo sort of color, as she's now on her own accord upside down and writing on my palm with a paper as I'm walking.
Awesome. There's scribbling sounds, but it's also a squeaking sound as she's trying to, probably in her own language, recite what the notes that you were saying. If someone else spoke Cork homunculus, then they would probably know that what you're writing is what she is saying. But
Right, yeah. Yes, Violet, yes. Excuse her Cockney accent. Anyway, you're saying. Please
have inspiration. That was very good. Of course. Right this way. Yes. As he leads you, it's right up here. Careful. And there's like a spilled brazier. Coal is sort of on the ground here. There's some smoke still coming from it. As he sort of hops and jumps over the spilled brazier, the coal and the charcoal all across the ground, he opens up this door, and inside is a bit of a mess. The home is still in all right shape. It's a stone house. It does smell like smoke in here, as a lot of the breezes of the nearby smoke has sort of settled in here. Probably through the cracks in some of the curtains that are just pretty much just cloth that have been wrung through a bar that are stuck in the porthole or whatever may be a window here. So easy for smoke to get in, not necessarily great to get out. So a steady smoke hangs in here. I think there's also a small fire as well. And he leads you to the bedroom where she is. I'm sorry. He leads you to the bedroom where she is. And there is a woman She pulls down the covers as you approach, and she sort of looks. Morbryn, is that you? And as she does look, you do see her skin is this pallid green. It's a bit of that dark vein is sort of going up from a wound on her shoulder and collar area, indicating that it is in fact some sort of dark poison.
Okay. All right. Hello. No, my name is Jet. I'm here to help you today.
Hi.
It appears that you have been afflicted by something.
Yes.
Before we begin, can you please tell me what happened to you exactly?
We were defending what we could, and I felt a biting on my shoulder, and I turned to look to see who it was, and it was some sort of hatchet or something. We think it was some sort of hatchet from the forces. Who were they? Anyway,
I'm not quite too sure.
she someone got her in the shoulder, and she screamed in pain, and then we bound it as best we could, and then we were able to, of course, drive off. Both Vuldra and I were able to drive him off, but this remains.
Okay. All right. I would like to do a quick assessment then. If you are happy with your husband being here, then he's welcome to be here. Otherwise, I'll just.
She holds out her hand, and Morbryn holds her and clasps Thordred's hand as they begin to just sort of watch you and reassure each other of this.
All right. So Violet already has swapped over and has helped to clean my hands. Mm-hmm. And I would like to just do a quick assessment of her person.
Sure. Give me a medicine.
20.
Nice. So with a 20, it's a good thing you showed up. She would probably not last another hour. Unfortunately, what do you have on you for... you have a healing kit, like reagents and things.
I have a healing kit. I have the right tool for any job, really.
That's true.
Plus a medical kit
You have
as
it
well.
all. Okay, cool.
I'm a one-man army of just anything at all. If you want a bagpipe, I can make one for you in an hour's time.
Triage. Sure.
Right. So,
unfortunately, with the 20, you see that she will not last the hour. Also, unfortunately, this poison needs crypt moss.
Crypt moss.
Which sounds worse than it is. It's usually found on the shadow of rocks. Obviously, it's moss. But also, it creeps in a dark pattern, and it looks way worse than it is, even on the side of rocks. It's more of a sepulchral-looking plant than it is beneficial. But it is it's great for anti-venom or an anti-poison, I guess. Chewing on that will also reduce swelling, inflammation, as well as as it gets into, there's a bit of like fibrous spores in it that will cut the inside of the mouth, and then that will sort of clear and start to detox the bloodstream.
Okay. Well,
usually it can be done on site. The crypt moss can be injected or made into a poultice on the site of the wound, or you can try to withstand poison if you can prolong its effect by chewing on it.
I see. Well, Madame, you're in luck because, I don't have a reagent that I should probably go and see if I can find some of. However, and you already see that Violet is now upside down, wings kind of splayed out and rigid, and is spinning. And as she spins, you see that the liquid inside starts to almost look like a yellow treacle color. You might recognize this from something that Site 6 once gave to us before. As a alchemist, I actually have the ability now at this level to essentially, I have 3 charges of lesser restoration that I can use during the day. So Violet is preparing that. However, I tell her that I need to also... So this should, at the very least, help you out right now with your immediate condition. However, I don't know what lingering effects there are. I don't know if there are any foreign bodies inside that can cause this to happen again. So I will need to find something else for you as well. It's called crypt moss. And
Crypt moss.
correct, yes.
Okay.
Do
you know what that is, honey?
No.
As they sort of like look to you to listen some more.
Right. Don't worry about it. It's honestly, it's got a worse name than it actually is. It just looks like... Anyway, I won't bore you with the
What does
specifics.
it look like?
Well, I mean, believe it or not, it's like a moss. It grows under slabs and that kind of thing. It looks, again, like a... I think a descriptor you could use is sepulchral. Now, I don't know if you know what that means, but if you do, then you get my drift. However... Right. Anyway, sorry, I'm in more than one place right now, okay. Inside and out. So I'm going to... so Violet is spinning up, and she's going to... And now I am going to make Violet just administer it to her as a drink, as opposed to pouring it or whatever.
Sure. I think Violet probably swoops down to a nearby vessel and pours herself into it. And now insisting on she would drink this. And Thordred does. She sort of smiles.
Sweet.
Is it? Okay. I've never tried it myself. Good to know. Violet, write that down. Okay. Not just yet, Violet. You're busy. Sorry. Write that down later. 5 minutes from now. All right. Anyway, all right. I suppose I also treat the actual wound itself. I clean it out. I use healer's healing. No magic necessary for this, I suppose, just to make sure that it's, the inside is all nice and
Me a medicine
flush.
with advantage.
Medicine with advantage. Okay.
Advantage.
Advantage.
25.
Advantage.
Yes,
There we go.
That's where I was going
25.
to. As with a 25, you are able to, with the work that you're doing here, and with your assessment after her downing the cup of this sweet honey-like, mead-like lesser restoration fluid, which you have learned from Side 6, and with this, her color starts to come back. The dark vein webbing of that poison, though, is still there. You would probably assume you have bought maybe another couple of more hours, maybe.
Hours at the max. Okay. All right. So we're not quite out of the woods just yet. Now, DM, would I know whereabouts to find this in a
yes.
logical perspective?
Logical perspective from Jet in this moment, there is likely in this area and the biome in which Blue Falls lays, a lot of moisture here. The salt isn't so great for spattering the moss of crypt moss, but on the dark side, or at least where the wind isn't blowing, anti-windward, potentially where the Spellwind comes from, you may be able to see crypt moss growing in the crevices and shadows of the rock face of Blue Falls there.
Okay.
That's a theory, though.
All right. I tell the husband that it's not particularly too hard to prepare, honestly. Once you find the stuff, you just have to crush it with a tiny bit of water.
Okay.
I'm going to pull out a small sheet of paper, yellowed and rough, and you're going to see Violet's pen nib eject from the cork again, and she's going to just start to draw what crypt moss looks like in relatively, understandable, kind of like a diagram of the thing. Like it looks more like, how would you say, like an Eastern kind of parchment, image, as opposed to like a portrait of fruit or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to hand over the sheet to him. Consider this a prescription. I think the best thing for us to do is maybe perhaps if you go and go one way, I go another. We can cover more ground this way and therefore find it. If you find some before I do, then please do make sure to come back, confer with the sheet I gave you for color, for consistency, all that stuff. And if you have any friends, make sure to take them with you and form a party. Go and look for this stuff. I'll do the same. I'll go on my own way, and hopefully we should be able to. It's not the rarest stuff in the world, so there might even be an apothecary. We'll find out. And yes, if you find it before me,
the upflow, and let them know.
Okay.
Okay.
I already have everything prepared aside from that final reagent. Just add it to this vial, and you'll be fine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Time is of the essence, though, so no more small talk. And as I'm talking to him, I'm actually walking away. I'm backing out. And I'm gone. Okay.
Is Violet with you?
Yes.
Okay. On your shoulder or clutched onto your shoulder like a baby bat is like hooked around maybe somewhere on the back of your collar or
like
your
a
shoulder.
For the cloak sometimes.
Yeah, sweet. And she is
like a brooch.
Yeah, awesome. I like to also picture her sometimes just like a like, you know how half cloaks go over a shoulder. Sometimes it's just her. It is a bat pauldron, which is just there, hanging out. As you start to make your way, I think she climbs up onto your shoulder because you're moving, and moving a lot can be really not comfortable for her as she hangs there. As she then climbs up onto your shoulder and starts to then do cute Violet stuff. As you make your way outside, there's still this large... go ahead and make me a survival. But as you are doing that, there is as you start to track these things, go ahead and give me advantage as well with that. As you... 12. As you are outside, there's still this hanging smoke that blows through. It does not match the same steady fog or the smoke that is inside the house, as it does sort of blow through this blue-white smoke resembling either burning of something natural or unnatural, but also this white smoke signifying steam, which is just this bouquet of interesting smells and anxiety as you begin to start looking for this crypt moss. As you go ahead and you roll a 12, as you make your way through the winding streets, there are some people that are making their way by you, as well as some people look and see you and recognize you and wave and thank you, but I don't know if that is a time that you or notice that is, I don't think that is something you pick up on because I've seen through some the behaviors of Jet that Jet can get very hyper-focused when it comes to helping someone. So there's probably people waving and thanking you, and there's probably a lot of you shuddering away, or at least trying to just, hey, yeah, great, thank you, as you were keeping your eyes peeled. Violet also jumps off of your shoulder for a moment and flies around looking as well for, she lands over to some stones and flips them over and then flies back to you as you start to make your way out of town. You make your way toward the switchbacks, and as you do, I need you to make me a perception check.
A perception check? Okay,
Yes.
I would like to use my inspiration now. I suppose
That
now
is
would be the time to use
so
it.
fair.
Okay. And with an 11,
And 11.
my rolls are great today.
So great. With an 11. So you are, once again, probably this hyper-focus is leading us down this path of like this tunnel vision for Jet. Every once in a while, Violet jumps off of your shoulder and flaps around and looks. You are scanning rock faces. You make your way over toward Uru and their compound, right? There's that rock wall that we all saw you climb and scale before you fought the way of the grasp. That rock wall you're inspecting, but there's nothing there as you turn and make your way toward the switchbacks. On your way, though, I think as we see this tunnel focus or this hyper focus, the camera is
goggles
watching.
are set to herb.
Yeah, you've turned the notifications on the mini-map for all of any alchemical reagents in the area. And because in my D&D games we have a HUD now, and anyway, so you are in this hyper-focus mode,
It's
looking through all
payback.
these things. Exactly. Yeah, of course it is. There will be a HUD at some point. So the camera is looking at you, and I think it sort of zooms out and pans upward toward the sky, so we can see a little bit more of the streets here. Around the corner, unbeknownst to Jet, a griffin with a rope around their neck that is cut, frayed at the end, and a slumped on top of it rider of the Sworn, as they, their helmet is missing. It seems like they have this scarred, swelling face, probably from various spells. You would think, or we would think, excuse me, it could be electricity. It could be force damage. But there is this residual damage of this person as this rider. The camera would probably zoom into them as they sort of look over toward Jet. They click and whistle. And then, Jet, you hear from behind you as a griffin is bounding
Is that Ice Griffin?
toward you. Make me one perception with disadvantage now as this griffin is coming toward you.
Okay. Perception with disadvantage.
Yes.
Okay. 18.
With disadvantage, nice. As you see, as this griffin sort of jumps, it squeaks once again, or it makes this whistle, of this hawk whistle, and then also this like cat sort of growl, as on the back you see this wounded soldier, partly armored, looks like it's dented, the helmet is gone, there's a large mark on their face, as the griffin then grabs your shoulders and takes off with you in its clutches.
I try and resist.
Okay. Make me a dexterity save, or...
A dexterity?
Yeah, make me a dexterity save.
Okay. Dexterity saving throw. Sorry, I hit strength back. So
That's okay.
So, a 9.
A 9. So, you, griffins... I think I remember their stats, but let me just double check. I got a 17. As
that beats my 9, I suppose.
Yeah, I got a 12. And so they, it grabs you once again and then bounds into the air. And as it does, it leaves Violet behind. As Violet then starts to chase after you, there is a griffin soaring, and I think there's like this. There isn't much sound coming from the rider, but you sort of try to look up and see, and you see this very wounded sworn soldier. And shut up, you.
You shut up!
And as you fly off into the distance, both Ty and Varsha, as you're making your way down into the upflow, you hear and then you see Jet and his cloak of Violet chasing, and this griffin sort of swoosh by you and then makes their way northeast from here.
Oh my god. Can I take the fly potion? This is so ridiculous. I know why we're doing this, but I totally would do it.
You took it already.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. That's right. Oh,
We haven't
shit.
got
You
any
go and
flying
you
things.
uncork
No.
your potion, and then you chug, and there's nothing there.
Fuck.
I've already started running.
Yeah, as you.
Yeah, I'm chasing after as well.
Okay.
Fuck.
we're muted. And that's going to be that. What is it, 53? Episode 53?
What?
think-
Really?
Got it.
I think so, yeah. I think it is.
You're dead on right.
And that's that.
While I look it up.
You're dead on right, as I'm going to take a look.
Yep.
All right.
Wow.
So,
I was
That's-
so
that's the
tired
longest.
at the end of the last episode that I called it corkscrew.
I saw that. I saw that. I liked
And that was the best I could do at the time.
I liked it a lot. I
We've
think
all
this
been
one,
there. We've all been there.
Yeah, we've all been corkscrewed. But that is what happens. We're going to see what happens now as you all see the griffin that you had get taken back and fly jet
yeah, dude.
somewhere away. So
Naruto running across the
across the sky.
rooftops, but only for a little while before I inevitably will probably have to turn back.
Yeah. And I'm chasing after him, but I'm exhausted as well. So I think I can keep up for him for a little bit, and then eventually he just goes, and I'm
It's that
on
dramatic,
the ground,
Yep, it's that dramatic
Fuck.
chasing the car. No,
Yep.
where are you going? And then they just
Yeah.
sort of go.
No.
Yeah, and that's sort of what happens. So, that being said, little meta for the audience. Maya's not going to be around for a couple of weeks, so that's what we're doing. We're going to see what happens now. We're going to see what that offer does and how that affects the story. It'll be fun. I'm excited. Let's start with Meyer today as we go around and talk around. I'm not excited to not have Meyer here. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Exactly what you said.
Okay. All right. Meyer's not going to be here. How exciting. Meyer, you're up. Meyer's already gone.
Some might say I'm already gone.
Perfect. Good. I mean, oh, he's back. Shit.
Hi, my name is Meyer. I played Jet today. And yeah, today was really cool. I really enjoyed the post-battle scenes and that kind of thing, and trying to apply more, alchemical medicine and stuff into the game. And I just hit level 10 a while ago, so I had the ability to do the whole lesser restoration thing. So I wanted to see how I could possibly add that to the game and make it kind of interesting. But yeah, the second that we were done with all those scenes, I was like, I could have done this. I could have done that. Could have found something like this. So if we get more scenes like that with Jet, depending on what happens with him with this encounter, maybe we'll have a chance to do more weird alchemical medicine. Anyway, that's me. You can find me at twitch.tv/Meyer, where I do a bunch of Star Citizen and gaming news, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's about it really for me. Or twitter.com/Meyer_test. And again, I'm not going to be here after the 12th until late or early January even. But when I'm back, you can catch me for Ashes of a Radiator? A Radiator?
Radiator.
Oh, I'm so offended.
That's the one.
Oh,
I think he's doing it on purpose.
Eerie Odor? Hodor?
Eerie odor. I like that one the best.
All right. So anyway, you'll catch me on that. I'm looking forward to it. I get to be in one more before I have to leave. And hopefully Whack doesn't give me eternal disadvantage for that, because it was worth it. But yeah.
-1 to all of your skills.
Ever.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, that's me. You can catch me where I said it was. And next, it's Whack.
Thank you, Meyer. I love you. You're awesome.
That was just
And you
compensation for telling everybody that he was going to be happy that you were gone.
That's it.
I'm Wax Steven. Hi. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I played Smith for you today. Thank you so much for being here, as always. Make sure you check out Myth's Patreon, patreon.com/Spellwind. Go support him for all the work that he does on this show. As Meyer said, tomorrow we've got Ashes of Eriador at 4 p.m. Eastern, episode 2. If you haven't checked it out yet, go check it out. Come start this new show while it's still early. I know a lot of people love to do that kind of thing, get in early on a show and stick with it. So come check it out. It should be really good. Yeah, I think that's about it. We've got 100 Club on Mondays. If you want to check that out, that's sci-fi, dark comedy, sort of bounty hunter stuff, which has been very, very funny. I GM that as well. Go check that out. And PB, go next.
Yes. Okay. Hi, I'm Pumpkinberry. You can find me at Twitch and Twitter at Pumpkinberry. I love this kind of where we are in the story of Spellwind. I've had a fun time RPing Varsha like 3 months, I guess, in the academy and kind of feeling sure of herself, and then all of that going out the window the moment she teleports and has this whole weird experience. Not all out the window, but just kind of, what do you do when you feel like you've fundamentally changed all of a sudden and you're kind of trying to figure all that out. And you almost blow up an entire group of people.
Huh?
There's that too.
Very forgiving, though.
I'm very sad that Meyer's going to be gone because we won't have any more of that, the puns that he's been gracing us with.
The only reason we keep him
Courtney
around.
accent got me. I realized then I wasn't muted, so I apologize for that. But
Very good. Thank
it's
you.
very good. But yeah, that's me. Thanks for watching.
Of course. Thank you, PB. Go follow PB on all the things. Brad?
Hello there, my name
Oh wait,
is
wait,
Brad.
wait,
Never
Brad.
mind.
I'm playing through Metal Gear on my channel and it's like the fucking best. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. Sorry, Brad. Go ahead.
Wait. Shh, Brad. Shh. Okay, now
My
you
name
can.
is Brad.
I never shout out.
Hi, everybody. Like I don't do this to everyone all the time.
Nobody drawing the map.
Nobody drawn the map.
Nobody drawn the map. Yeah, I have nothing to add to the conversation. I'm sad that we're going to be losing Jet. It's the first time that our little crew is not going to be at full strength,
Capacity.
at full 4. Although
Yeah,
I am
wait,
now
because nobody's missed
finally
an
level
episode,
10.
right?
Right.
I don't think so. We've always been here,
You've always
We've
been here,
always
or
been
we
here.
cancel.
or we just don't.
Yeah, or we
not
just
the
don't.
whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is going to be really weird. I still have a cough.
Uh-huh. We're gonna bring in a special
And
guest to play
it's
Violet.
so yeah, it's so hard to roleplay for so long and not cough throughout.
Especially if you're like
The whole thing.
talking all the time.
Yeah, I was like, at least Ty probably does have a smoker's cough, so I could probably justify it if I did cough halfway through a random scene in this.
It'd be good if you were smoking or you were coughing because of the smoke in Blue Falls.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this smoke is
The
awesome.
smoke.
That's
We'll always
really
roleplay
annoying.
so
Yeah.
good.
It just made it so much worse.
Activated the real cough. Yeah, I've got nothing for you. You can watch my stream. I'm playing Final Fantasy 15 and trying to convince Myth to play one. And did you watch the video?
I did, and I have
Did you
to
come to a
say,
conclusion? I want to watch it, but I'm curious.
I didn't send it to you because I still have no idea. I'm like, this
Oh,
is
you don't even
overwhelming.
know.
I still have no idea which one I want to do.
Still too overwhelmed,
Story
yeah.
or gameplay. I don't know.
Yeah, no, there's no
Gets
way,
me.
man. There's no way. Here we go. Stay there. Stay there.
Perfect. Okay, gotta wait for it. All right, perfect. And everybody did their shout outs? I think so. Perfect. Hi, everybody. I'm
Oh my god, I love him.
He's so good. Hi, everybody. I'm Myth. You can follow me on all the things, Mythomatic. I've been doing some forging streams lately. I think I need to do a GM turn here soon. So maybe this weekend. So follow me on all the stuff. That's it. I'm around if you want to talk to me about Spellwind, the World of Hearth, and anything in the anything like that. I'm around in the Table Story Discord. But tomorrow is Ashes of Eriador. See you then, everybody. Be well. Take care of yourselves. Tell great stories. Good night.